Microdosing versus antidepressants. Hi, I'm Megan. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, functional blood chemistry specialist, certified personal trainer, and energy healer. And I spent 10 years of my life on a variety of medications for anxiety and depression. And one thing I will say is always consult your doctor before changing or going off any medications for sure. But I spent 10 years on these all of them. Basically, all of the medications you can think of, I was on them. And I always tell people that at best, I felt like a zombie on these medications. And they never worked for me. And I started on them super young. I was a teenager, and through my, early 20s, my mid 20s, I got off finally. I wouldn't say I was super happy at that point, but I was stable enough, and I had some tools in my toolbox to be able to get off at that point. And I got better as I went through. I had a variety of gut issues and hormone issues and thyroid issues, autoimmune issues that impacted my mental health and my neurotransmitter pathways, which impact your serotonin, dopamine, epinephrine, neuroepinephrine, and the production of those, but also the transmission of those. And there's a lot of pathways that go into that. But anyways, so I got better and my mental health got a lot better, but I will say I was still definitely living with a kind of like a low hum of anxiety and depression for a long time. And it wasn't really until I started microdosing that I realized I was even living this way. And as I started microdosing and I felt what it really felt like to have this this really deep inner sense of calm and peace. And now keep in mind, microdosing was a piece of this, but I was also doing a lot of brain retraining, brain rewiring work, manifestation work, affirmations, like deep meditation work. I was working with a variety of integration and facilitator type individuals at this time to help me with this whole process. And I'll say that piece is super important. Just microdosing alone often isn't the magic pill. There is no magic pill, but it's a huge help and catalyst into being able to train your brain out of these patterns of being in this chronic state of fight or flight, which is a huge piece of anxiety and depression, and also be able to process, release a lot of the traumas that led us to that spot. I had anxiety and depression from a really young age because I grew up with a single mom who was an alcoholic, and I was afraid for my life from a very young age. I was very confused from a very young age. I didn't understand what was going on, why she was the way she was, and I often just wanted an escape, and I got stuck in these really strong trauma patterns. And I spent 10 years in therapy. I went to trauma therapy. I did hypnosis. I did all the things, and they were helped a little bit, but they didn't move the needle as much as I wanted. And I know medication, I know talk therapy can be that thing for a lot of people. For me, it wasn't. And I know I'm not alone in this because I work with a lot of people who have done all of those things, and it didn't move the needle as much as they would have hoped. And so microdosing for me was the game changer. And I can say very confidently now that, yeah, it pops up every now and again, but by and large, I don't deal with that. I don't have the racing, looping thoughts. I don't have this severe depressive episodes where I can't move or get out of bed for days and days or weeks and can't function and just have no excitement or joy to life. I don't have that. If I get it, during some mildly stressed times, for sure, yeah, my brain can start to go in some loops and I got a lot going on, but it's very short term and it's also very mild compared to the patterns that I used to have. I used to also have a lot of anxiety attacks, and it's been a long time since I've had an anxiety attack, and It's just because even if I feel myself getting worked up, I have the tools and capacity, and I do still microdose, to get into this deeper sense, this place of calm and relaxation, and just this finding this inner peace that I didn't have access to before microdosing. And this is the case for a lot of people, and there's a lot of science showing, specifically with larger journey work, the microdosing research isn't quite there yet, but it's coming. And so if you want help and support with this, not only in the microdosing, but also in how to use microdosing as a tool to really help you with this internal sense of calm, to start to work through trauma patterns, to retrain your brain out of these just like loops that we get really stuck in, apply to my new program, Life Force Reignite. I'm going to teach you all of these things that I've put together over the last 10 plus years that I've had to search all over the place for. I have put all in one program. So apply for that. Time is running out. So be sure to apply today for that, so we can get started and you can start to feel this deep inner sense of calm and happiness that I know many of you have never felt before, because I know I hadn't.